Alright everyone, good morning. Today is Monday, July 15th, 2024 at 09:44. And today, we have our day 1 outlook to look at. Today is a pretty busy day. We haven't had an enhanced risk out in a little while. We do have an enhanced risk stretching from Iowa through Illinois. A little bit of Wisconsin has it, Indiana, and Michigan. We do have a slight risk surrounding that area. We've got Wisconsin, a little bit of Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan under a slight risk. We have a slight risk also out here in a little bit of Wyoming, Nebraska, Colorado, and Kansas. And we also have one out here in Pennsylvania and New York State. We also do have a marginal risk that basically extends all the way out, starting in Montana, going over into South Dakota, up into Minnesota and Wisconsin, into Michigan, over into Pennsylvania, Vermont, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, down in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, West Virginia, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, and out into Colorado. So we've got, and also one out here, down here in Arizona. So we also have a big severe weather day today. So anyway, today's cities, we've got Chicago, Aurora, Rockford, Naperville, and Joliet under an enhanced. We got Indianapolis, Milwaukee, Toledo, Buffalo, and Fort Wayne under a slight. And Philadelphia, Detroit, Columbus, Baltimore, and Boston under a marginal. So, yeah. To me, it does look like it would include DC, so I think DC is also in that marginal there. Anyway, today's tornado threat, we've got a 5% here in a little bit of Iowa, Illinois. Chicago is under that. And we've also got a 2% from Wisconsin over into Iowa, down in Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana, and Michigan. So let's see what we've got here. Looks like we've got cities of Chicago, Aurora, Rockford, Naperville, and Joliet under a 5%. In Indianapolis, Milwaukee, Fort Wayne, Madison, and Des Moines having a 2%. So I definitely would say EF1, maybe even an EF2 tornado could be possible. You may want to make sure that you take your shelters if the tornado warning does get issued for your area. 2%, you might just see an isolated tornado touch the ground. But again, you definitely should take shelter if a warning does get issued for your area. But anyway, let's move on to today's damaging wind risk. We've got a big one. We got a hatch 30% in Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, a little bit of Indiana and Michigan here. We got a 15% across parts of Wisconsin, Minnesota, down into Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. We also got this 15% over here in New York State and Pennsylvania. We also have this one over here out in Wyoming, Colorado, Kansas, and Nebraska. We do have this huge 5% stretching from Wisconsin over into Minnesota, over into South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Nebraska, down into Kansas, Missouri, Indiana, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York State, going over into New Jersey, even New York City's got it. We got Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire, going back out. I think I got everyone in Michigan. I think are the only places I've got. Even Iowa has the 5%. So yes, again, huge area. Also got out 5% out here in Arizona. So let's see what we've got here today for damaging winds. So we got Chicago, Des Moines, Aurora, Rockford, and Naperville under a significant severe. Chicago, Aurora, Rockford, Naperville, and Joliet are under a 30% as well. Indianapolis, Milwaukee, Toledo, Buffalo, and Fort Wayne under having the 15%. And Pittsburgh, Detroit, Columbus, Baltimore, and Boston under the 5%. So I definitely would say 30%. You could see, I would say 90 mile per hour wind gusts could be possible. I can't really rule that out, but I feel like it could be a possible where a storm might pull that off. So you're going to want to make sure. But I would definitely say a storm could be probably reach 80 miles an hour wind gusts. So you're going to want to have, oh, I think it reset on me. Yep, it did. So, but yeah, you're going to want to make sure that you are taking shelter because you could see 80 mile per hour wind gusts at top. So I feel like a storm might even push it to 90 miles per hour. So you're going to want to stay around for that. 15%, you might see wind gusts of 60 to 75 miles per hour in the 3 yellow areas here. And then the 5%, you can see 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. So stretching from all the way out here, all the way out here. And then, of course, down in Arizona, too. Now, today's hail risk. Not too bad of a hail risk. We mainly have it in Iowa, as you can clearly see. 5% basically goes from Wisconsin over into Minnesota, down into Iowa, over into South Dakota, Nebraska, Missouri, Illinois, and Wisconsin. And we also have one out here in mainly New York State, but a little bit goes down into Pennsylvania. Let's see what today's hail risk is all about. We got Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, Waterloo, Iowa City, and Ames under a 15%, and Chicago, Milwaukee, Omaha, Minneapolis, and Buffalo having the 5%. So I would definitely say 15% you could see hailstones of 1 to 3 inches, and then 5% you could see 1 to 2 inch hail possible. So let's see what the Storm Prediction Center says today. So it looks like they say severe thunderstorms are possible this afternoon and evening across portions of the Midwest, Central High Plains, Lower Great Lakes, and Arizona. The greatest potential for severe gusts is over eastern Iowa into Illinois and Indiana. So that's what the Storm Prediction Center has for today. So overall, here's today's day 1 hail risk, today's wind risk, and today's tornado risk, and our overall day 1. So I do really hope you stay weather aware and stay safe. And you never know what Storm Prediction Center could do to this enhance. They could keep it the same. They might upgrade it. Any of these areas, really, they could even upgrade the marginal or upgrade the slight or do anything to it. So if that something like that happens, I should be back on to be able to inform you that it has been updated. But for now, that's going to be it for now. That's our day 1 risk for today. So stay weather aware and stay safe.